Ever wondered what your Rolex says about you? Well, I've been in this industry for 10 years and I'm going to explain to you the typical buyer for each model. The Rolex Air-King, well, I have to tell you guys, this is a Marmite watch. This watch will definitely split the buyers. The buyer that buys this and wears it buys it for that reason. They don't want to buy the run-of-the-mill, streamlined, mainstream Rolex models. It's quite a unique dial. It's got quite unique numerals. The price point is around about $6.5 grand. The grey market retail is just a touch over now, or literally list, but the buyer is definitely a stealthy buyer and they like to be different. The 18 karat yellow gold and stainless steel white dial Daytona, the buyer for this watch, it's actually a male watch and also a female watch, but in the current trends in 2024, I can tell you guys that the buyer is predominantly for ladies, and ladies wear the bigger watches, the programs of Housewives of Cheshire, all these sort of reality programs. All the ladies seem to wear Daytonas, so most ladies now, they'll request the Daytona, they want the white dial because in my opinion it is the best, lighter colour dial for the ladies, so I would say 99.9% a ladies watch. The Rolex Submariner Hulk, the buyer for this watch is 1,000,000% watch guy. He's probably chased this watch for years and years and years. Bearing in mind it was discontinued in 2020. It's a 40mm variant. It's got the beautiful green dial, green bezel, and it's a proper watch person's watch. They want to wear that. They don't really want to be noticed, but they do want that nod of appreciation from the watch community to say, is that a Hulk? And they'll go, oh yeah. The Submariner Hulk buyer, actually age-wise, has no boundaries. They can be the young guy that absolutely loves green. They can be the middle-aged guy that really wants that watch, that's really chased it for years. Or they can be the older gentleman, the one that's actually really just likes something a bit different. So it has no boundaries, it crosses all thresholds, and is such a popular watch. The Date 40, 18 karat yellow gold with a champagne dial. This sends to me the message of older gentlemen. And for you guys out there watching this, will be like, oh, you just completely categorized that watch. If it was a different dial, like a white dial or a baguette dial, I would say it's a different age range. But with the champagne dial, it's quintessentially an iconic watch. Look at the 80s and 90s, the 36mm variant. This is the 40, the new one. It's a prestigious watch. It's got the beautiful, beautiful presidential bracelet. And for me, it's an older gentleman, got a little bit of money, he's done well, and he likes to wear that watch on special occasions only and show off to his friends at dinner. The Explorer 2 polar white dial, the 42mm variant, the buyer for this watch is normally, I would say, an active person. They're not buying the watch to wear to show, to impress their friends. They're not buying the watch to wear out for dinner or special occasions. They're buying that watch as a daily. They have an active lifestyle. They want the watch to function. Rolex typically is historically known as a tool watch. Obviously, there are other models now we can choose which are more dress, but that is the epitome of Rolex. Tool watch, GMT function, polar white, the best style by the way in this variant, but it's a guy who likes to be active and do things out there in the wild and actually function. If he scratches it, damages it, or does anything to the watch, he's actually not bothered. The GMT-Master II Pepsi Jubilee variant, this watch is a watch guy. This guy is a proper deep down in that rabbit hole horologist, loves watches. It has to have that watch on his journey. No doubt this guy will be a 5, 6, 7, 8 watch guy, whether he's had them all before and he's dailied each one and traded them for the Pepsi, or he has a collection. The majority of clients that we sell a Pepsi to, they're normally well heeled and they have quite a few more watches in their collection. And the beauty of this particular watch is the ones that we get in the LWC, unless it's a 2024, which are rare as anything, they have been worn, they have been enjoyed, and the buyer for this watch doesn't mind buying a pre-owned one, would try and get a new one if they could, but it's definitely a watch person's watch. If you've not seen it on my channel, I wore one for a week, certainly give it a watch, but let me tell you, watchman's watch. OP41 turquoise blue dial, aka the Tiffany, even though it doesn't have the Tiffany & Co writing on the actual dial. The buyer for this watch is, again like the bimetal Daytona, is a man and a lady. I actually really like this watch. I would actually wear this watch. It's sat very well in the market in sort of the mid-teens. It's definitely one of those watches. We sold one 2 weeks ago and a gentleman came in and he bought it for his wife. So because of the beautiful blue colour, because it's light, I would say definitely in today's world, it's either a lady bought by herself or by a partner, or it's one that some guys out there will buy and put in their collection, but it's one hopefully that does get worn. The Deepsea Challenge, the 50mm variant, the big watch, very rare piece. The buyer for this watch in today's market, not last year or the year before, is a completely different buyer. The last ones we've had in, the buyers have been buying them to wear and daily them. Bear in mind they're 50mm in size and also have a huge height on the wrist. So the buyer was a collector. It's now a wearer with a second plan of collecting due to the rarity, but it's a buyer who has had plenty of models before, looking for that something different. They do have friends who obviously own and wear luxury watches, and they want to be that different guy. They want to sit there at the table with that watch. Great talking piece, great watch, and for me, I absolutely love that watch. The Sea Dweller 43, 18 karat gold and stainless steel. The buyer for this watch is actually the buyer for this watch. This is the Submariner Bluesy. So this is the 41mm variant. It's got the beautiful blue dial and blue ceramic bezel. It comes with another combination, the black dial and also the black bezel. So the buyer for the actual watch is actually a Submariner buyer, but they like a bigger look. They want something that looks and wears bigger on the wrist. They want something different to everybody else. They don't want to go down the steel range. Obviously they do the same variant in stainless steel. They want the steel and gold. They want a look of gold. They want that little bit more than something than a standard steel watch, but they need a bigger watch. Normally got bigger wrists for clients that want the 43, but for me, it's somebody who wants the Submariner, but also something that's a little bit different. Sky Dweller in stainless steel, blue dial, fluted bezel Jubilee bracelet. That is the best combination in my opinion. The buyer for this watch has no age range. We can sell this particular watch to a client in their 20s, 30s, 40s and 50s. It's the client that likes the Datejust range, for example, this particular one here. So it's basically like a beefed up Datejust 41. This is the 41 Datejust. It's obviously got the Jubilee bracelet. It's got the fluted bezel, but it's got a blue dial. There's many different variants in this. In the Sky Dweller range, the blue dial, that tells me you know your watches. There's a couple of entry level dials. We've got the white and the black. We've also got the mint green. In my opinion, even though the mint green is more money and harder to get, the blue dial is the sweet spot in the Sky Dweller. So the buyer has no age range. They like to wear watches. They'll wear it more than they want, even though they've got other watches. And it's one of those guys that just want something a little bit different, a little bit flashy and a little bit showy, but also a little bit classy. The stainless steel Submariner No Date, the new 41mm, again, I've got one to show you here. The buyer for this watch is a stealthy guy. You don't really want people to comment on your watch. You don't really want people to notice this watch. You've bought the No Date against the Date, which is this one, because again, you want the cleaner look. This has the Cyclops, as you can see, which shows the date. The one in question is the No Date, no Cyclops, no date. I think that's the best one out of the two in my opinion. I like the cleaner looking watch. I like the fact that it doesn't have the Cyclops, so for me, it's a watch person's watch. And the reason you've chose this over this is purely because you want something a little bit different, a nod to the old. The first one was in the Submariner engine No Date, very iconic, but certainly doesn't want any attention, doesn't want to be noticed, wants a nice watch, wants to wear it as a daily, wants it to function, but also doesn't want anybody to notice what they're wearing. The 18 karat rose gold 40mm GMT-Master root beer. The buyer for this watch is another one where I would say doesn't really have an age range. We've got the younger clients that come to the boutique who want to wear it. They want to look a little bit flashy. We've got the older or middle-aged gentleman that will come and buy that watch that appreciates. They've got the gold in the center links and on the bezel, but not too flashy like the Bluesy that we just mentioned. So the buyer has got a few different age ranges. It will not be the first watch that this client particularly buys, but they want something, they want the subtleness of the gold, they want something that absolutely looks incredible on the wrist, but something different to a steel GMT, something different to the 18 karat gold and steel Submariner, and something different to the whole steel sports range. It's that upgrade, it's not too flashy, it's subtle, it looks like money, and it's for a client who really enjoys to wear his timepieces. The 18 karat white gold Rolex Daytona Oyster Flex with the grey dial and black subdials, aka the Ghost. This particular buyer is a very, very knowledgeable buyer. They've done their homework, they've had all the watches in my cabinet here and more. They're looking for that something special. They've probably had watches of more value as well, but they're looking for that watch that makes them feel special, is under the radar, so it doesn't attract too much attention unless you know what you're looking at. Want something comfortable because they've got the rubber strap. Want something that is just that little bit different. It is our best selling Oyster Flex in all the ranges. It's that stealthy guy, it's that guy that knows his watches, and honestly, if we could get more in our cabinets, we would. As soon as we get them, we will sell them straight away. What a watch. I can see why you guys buy it, and it's going to be popular for years and years to come. What a watch. So don't forget to subscribe down below, and YouTube thinks you should watch this video next.